The night my husband walked out, he didn't shout. He didn't throw things or demand an explanation. He simply set his wedding ring on the kitchen counter, the same counter where I'd once baked him a birthday cake with our initials in chocolate icing, and whispered, "I can't do this anymore, Emma." Then he left. And in that quiet, final moment, I realized how deep his silence cut, sharper than any words he could have said. Ethan had always been the calm one between us. Steady, patient, the kind of man who thought before speaking and listened even when it hurt. He wasn't perfect. He worked long hours as an architect, sometimes losing track of time and coming home late, but he loved me in a way that felt solid, dependable. When we married, I used to tell my friends, "He's my anchor." And for years he was. Until Nathan came back into my life. Nathan had been my college friend. Charming, funny, the kind of guy who made everyone in a room feel like they were the only one he saw. When he moved to our city for a job, I didn't think twice about meeting up. "It's just lunch," I'd told Ethan with a laugh. "Don't tell me you're jealous already." Ethan had smiled then, but there'd been something tight in his expression. "I'm not jealous, Em. I just don't want to be blindsided." I waved him off. "Please. Nathan's just a friend. You have nothing to worry about." I should have listened to the quiet warning in his voice, to the way he always fell silent whenever Nathan's name came up. It started innocently enough. Texts about work, memes, late-night conversations about the past. Nathan was easy to talk to. He remembered old stories, inside jokes, the carefree version of me before bills, marriage, and routines. He'd say things like, "You haven't changed at all, Em. You're still the girl who made everyone laugh in psych class." I'd smile at my phone, warmth blooming in my chest, the kind I told myself was just nostalgia. But then came the emotional confessions. He'd message late. "You ever feel like you settled too soon? Sometimes I think about what would have happened if we'd dated back then." I type haha stop, but I never really stopped him. When Ethan caught a glimpse of my phone one night and saw Nathan's name pop up past midnight, he asked, "Why is he texting you this late?" Shrugged. "We're just talking." "You're overreacting." He looked at me for a long time before saying softly, "I hope that's true." Weeks passed, but the distance between us grew. Ethan stopped leaving notes in my lunchbox. I stopped asking about his projects. Dinners turned quiet, our laughter replaced by the low hum of the dishwasher. And still I kept talking to Nathan. He started calling during the day, during Ethan's meetings when I could answer freely. Sometimes he'd say things that made my heart twist. "He doesn't get you like I do. You deserve someone who makes you feel alive." I told myself it was harmless. That emotional cheating wasn't real cheating. That I loved my husband, even if the spark had dimmed. But love doesn't survive in secrecy. Suffocates there. The breaking point came on a Sunday morning. Ethan was sitting at the table, coffee in hand, eyes hollow. "Emma," he said, "do you love me?" The question hit like a slap. "Of course I do. Why would you even ask that?" He nodded slowly. "Because you don't look at me like you used to. You laugh at your phone, not at my jokes. You spend hours talking to a man you swear means nothing, but I can feel you slipping away from me." I tried to laugh it off, but his voice was trembling now. "I know something's going on, Em. I can feel it. Ethan, please." He slammed his hand against the table, startling me. "Then prove it. Show me the messages." My throat closed up. "That's not fair." He stared at me, searching my face for truth, for love, for anything that could save us. But I looked away. And in that small, cowardly moment of silence, he knew. For the next few weeks, we lived like strangers under the same roof. He slept on the couch. I stayed late at work. We both pretended things would somehow fix themselves, but every glance felt heavier, every touch colder. Then one evening, I came home to find Nathan's car parked outside our house. My heart raced, not with excitement but with dread. When I stepped inside, Ethan was standing in the hallway, his face pale, a letter in his hand. Nathan was behind him, awkward and frozen. "Ethan," I whispered, What's going on? He lifted the letter. Printed messages, screenshots, photos. I guess Nathan thought I should know the truth. My chest caved in. Ethan, it's not what it looks like. He gave a bitter laugh. Really? Because it looks like you've been building a whole second life behind my back. Tears stung my eyes. I never slept with him. I don't care if you did, he said quietly. You gave him the part of you that used to belong to me. Nathan tried to speak, but Ethan cut him off. You should go. Nathan hesitated, then walked out, leaving the door half open, the cold night air spilling in like a final judgment. When I turned back, Ethan was already gathering his things. Please, I begged, grabbing his arm. We can fix this. I'll block him. I'll do anything. He looked at me with tears in his eyes, the kind of tears that come when love dies, not suddenly, but slowly and painfully. You laughed at me, Emma, he said, his voice breaking. You laughed when I said I was scared of losing you. And then you proved I was right. He pressed his wedding ring into my palm. Keep it. Maybe it'll remind you what honesty costs. And with that, he walked out into the night. For weeks after, I lived in silence. A silence filled with all the words I never said. The house still smelled like his cologne. The bed still dipped where he used to sleep. I tried calling him once, but his number had changed. Mutual friends said he'd moved to another city, took a new job, started fresh. I imagined him in some small apartment, maybe finally sleeping peacefully. Nathan tried reaching out too, but I ignored him. The truth was, he hadn't ruined my marriage. I had. Every message, every secret, every dismissive laugh. They'd been tiny cracks in the glass, and I'd ignored each one until the whole thing shattered. Months later, I found a letter in the mail. No return address, but I recognized the handwriting. I'm not writing to forgive you. I'm writing to say I understand now. Sometimes love isn't lost in one big betrayal. It dies in the moments we stop choosing each other. I hope you find peace truly. But I can't come back. Ethan. I read that letter 100 times. Then I folded it carefully and placed it next to the ring he left behind. Both symbols of what I'd once had, and what I'd taken for granted. Now, when people talk about trust, I don't laugh anymore. I know what it costs to break it. How it haunts you long after the person is gone. Sometimes I still dream of him, standing in our kitchen, his ring glinting in the light, his eyes full of quiet hurt. And in that dream, I always reach out and say the words I never said that night. I'm sorry. You were right. And I should have listened before it was too late. But dreams end, and when I wake up, the space beside me is still cold. And I know he's never coming back.